Hello and welcome to the No Ceilings podcast on the Turtlesmith Network. I'm Cortni Ogles.
And I'm Vincent Cato.
And we are here to talk to you about
The Feasibility Study.
All right. Well, let's get into it. What'd you do this weekend?
This weekend, just working, tidying up the house. No kids this weekend, so it was very quiet and calming. And I could sit down and watch TV.
Must be nice.
Yep, I can cook for myself.
What'd you cook?
So this weekend I had burrito tacos.
Okay. You made them yourself?
I made them myself from scratch, not out of a package or anything like that. Just peppers and all the good stuff that goes in there.
Okay.
It was incredible.
Okay. You have to check those out.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, this weekend I did a lot of running.
A lot of running, like physical running?
No, running around.
I didn't know you were a runner now. We can get up and go run a couple
runner,
miles.
I'm a track star. No, nah, I ain't doing none of that. I do exercise.
Okay.
Occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
It is not something that I'm true to.
Okay.
But occasionally I will exercise.
Okay.
But when I said running, I meant, running kids around. I'm the family Uber. And so we did take a trip to the Science Museum. We went to Urban Air.
Okay.
And we finished out with a trip to the fair. So we had a good time.
Man, you guys had a real good time. Science Museum, Urban Air, and the fair. How was the fair?
It was pretty good. It was crowded. There were a lot of people there. It was hot.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get I couldn't get one kid to say that she was ready to go. She didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually my son got called into work, and so we did have to leave. And she had it planned all out in her mind. She was like, well, Dad can take him to work. You can stay here with me, and we can just, you can stay here and ride rides.
Keep this party going.
Baby, I'm not riding no rides. I mean, when I say she is a thrill seeker, let me tell you, that one ride, I don't even know what it's called. It just spins. You get in and it holds you to the wall.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Baby, she got on there and she did that. And I was like, I'm going to be sick to my stomach. One little boy, I watched, before she went on, I watched a little boy get off, and the first thing he did was throw up. I can't do it. I cannot do rides. I used to be able to do roller coasters and stuff like that, but I can't do that stuff no more.
Man, I tell you what, your stomach changes as you get older. Because, man, I used to do all this stuff as a kid, and I got on one ride recently. I felt like I was definitely going to call Earl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I just leave that to the youngins.
That was your brother.
Did you eat anything at the fair?
I did. So I had some elotes. It was delicious.
Okay.
Or corn in a cup. It was delicious. I thoroughly enjoyed that. The kids had catfish. I took a piece of that. That was good. The other one had chicken strips and fries, and the chicken strips were good, but they were really, to me, it seemed like it was double breaded. That wasn't so good. I had a red velvet funnel cake.
Okay, now that sounds good.
That was delicious. I had, what else did I have? We had plenty of lemonade, drinks. Then we had a corn dog. And then I got my dad on the way out. You got to get something to go. So on the way out, I got my dad a turkey leg, a bacon wrapped turkey leg. And
bacon wrap. Okay, it was a luxury turkey leg.
Ask me how much it cost.
What, $25?
Close, $24.
Oh, okay.
It was $24.
Yeah,
I was shocked.
Nah, that's about fair market.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So nothing, no deep fried Twinkies or nothing deep fried and sweet. No.
I don't have time for that.
Oh man, that's always the best stuff.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
I can't deep fry it. As I get older, a whole bunch of fried stuff don't sit well.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You feel it the next day.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about feasibility study.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. The end goal in this is this business possible? Mm-hmm. And can you get the supplies to do this business?
Right.
Now, I'll say in this step, I did not have fun.
Yeah, it is one of the tougher steps. The more cognitive steps is going to really test you. But if you learn how to do this yourself, it will help you in some later steps that we'll explain to you later on.
I'm a creative. It wasn't fun at all. I don't like numbers. So what is a feasibility study? So a feasibility study is an analysis of the viability of an idea. Mm-hmm. And so what we are going to do in this episode, we're going to use the lemonade stand example that we used in the last episode to kind of talk through this a little bit.
Right.
So the purpose of the feasibility study is to determine whether opening a lemonade stand in the local neighborhood is a viable business idea. The stand is going to target local residents, especially children and adults, during hot weather, and the goal is to assess the potential demand, costs, competition, and profitability, right?
Right.
So who is our target audience? So we really have to narrow this down. And in this example, our primary target is going to be children. Mm-hmm. Children between the ages of 5 and 12.
Right.
In the neighborhood.
Yeah. Okay.
Our secondary target is going to be adults seeking a refreshing drink on warm days. Mm-mm. All right. So then we want to look at our market size. This example that we're using is approximately 200 adults. And on a typical sunny day, we're talking about 20 to 30 children and maybe 50 to 60 adults are outside.
200 households.
200 households. Yeah. Sorry. Mm-hmm. 200 households.
No problem. Just want to make sure we got that part
correct. Mm-hmm. So, again, 200 households in a neighborhood. That's a decent sized neighborhood. And out of that, you're talking about 20 to 30 children maybe, 50 to 60 adults that are outside moving around or passing through on their way home, looking to potentially see the lemonade stand.
Right.
Our demand estimation is, assuming 10 to 20% of our passersby purchase a cup, then the estimated daily sales could range between 10 to 20 cups a day on average, and 30 to 40 cups on hotter days.
Okay. So you're saying with that market size, that's just the people that are potentially going to see or be advertised your lemonade. And then out of those people, you hope to sell to at least 10 to 20% of those people.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Got you.
All right. And so then we want to talk about our market trends. Mm-hmm. And so on warmer than average summers, then we forecast that we're going to have potentially higher demands for cold beverages.
Like the summer we just had?
Correct. Mm-hmm. But that also depends on where you live.
Okay.
And I talked to Calvin about this just recently. I asked him, I said, how hot is it, in Oregon?
Right.
Because I went to Oregon in August and I had on a whole coat and jacket, it was cold to me. And so I said, is it typical to see people, drinking like lemonade in Oregon? Mm-hmm. And
what did he say?
He said no. It sounds like for a couple of reasons. The first reason is, they don't really do a lot of sugary drinks there, obviously, and they drink kombucha.
Oh, okay.
But then also the fact that it's not really warm would be another reason, the main reason why.
That makes sense. Lemonade is definitely refreshing. drink on a very hot day. We stay in the Midwest, so be more, I guess, feasible to see it here than other markets.
Yeah. What about, have you ever had kombucha?
I think one time, and it's funny that you said that because the one time I did have it, you know what I did?
Spit it out.
No,
what?
I shook it up. Yeah, so it went everywhere.
So you're not supposed to?
You're not supposed to shake it.
Okay. Calvin, you ever had kombucha?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It can be.
Okay. What's the flavor? Tell me, Vincent, what's the flavor?
I don't remember the flavor. It went everywhere. So I had
So it's a fizzy drink?
I don't think it's I don't know what it is about it, but you're not supposed to shake it. I don't know. I had it one time and that was a bad experience, so I never had it again.
Okay.
And like, I don't know, maybe it's the hood in me or something, but I always like to shake drinks. I just shake it up, you know what I mean? And I was shaking it, and my buddy was like, "Bro, you're not supposed to shake it." I was like, "Why not?" And I twisted it.
So he put it up on the screen. Okay. Kombucha.
Mm-hmm.
Tea mushroom. Tea fungus. Kombucha is thought to have originated in China, where the drink is is a tradition. Where the drink is traditional, because she can't read. That's all good. Okay. Kombucha is produced by symbolic fermentation of sugared tea using symbolic culture of bacteria and yeast, commonly called a mother or mushroom. Okay.
The microbial populations in a SCOBY vary. The yeast component generally includes, I don't know what that is, but that's what's in there. And apparently that's why you don't need to shake kombucha, because of those ingredients, and shaking it activates the...
It's cool. It's tea fungus. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You don't want any tea fungus?
I won't be trying kombucha.
Okay.
Anyhow, off topic.
Yeah.
On topic, but off.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next step, after you just really kind of look at the area in which you live, you really want to look at a competition analysis.
Okay.
You want to find out who your direct competitors are. Is Johnny, is he selling lemonade in the neighborhood too? He saw you set up a stand, so he came and set up a stand. And his cup is an ounce bigger than yours for the same price.
I just thought of something too while you're speaking of competitors and doing like the competitor research. So in this example, you could kind of drive around the neighborhood and you can see if there just so happen to be another lemonade stand. You would try the lemonade out, see how much it costs, see what it tastes like, what they're serving in, so on and so forth. And then you have a bigger lemonade business, or you would think that your competitors would be like Chick-fil-A or Charlie's or your other bigger lemonade markets or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, and here we've got local businesses nearby may have different flavors, and that was where I always want to hang my hat on the different flavors. I don't ever, if I had a lemonade stand, I would probably find ways to make so many different flavors, just because I don't like just regular lemonade is good. I love the Fair's lemonade, but everybody can't make the lemonade just like the Fair.
Right.
And so when you start adding flavors to it, like that coconut lavender lemonade is delicious from the fried taco, but also strawberry lemonade. They have blueberry lemonade. They've got all these different flavors, and so playing into people's taste buds.
I like to blend up fresh fruit and put it into lemonade. My favorite lemonade though is probably the Milo's lemonade.
Child, you looking for a diabetic death wish.
Oh my goodness. Grind up some strawberries or some blueberries and pour it right in there.
Yeah,
Y'all try that out.
Milo's, let me just say, Y'all are crazy. Boy, y'all got these people out here in Oklahoma hooked on Milos.
The best lemonade.
You giving people diabetes. Y'all out here giving folk diabetes. But it's good, though. I ain't gonna lie. It's good. But I don't drink it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay healthy. High in sugar. All right. So, you also want to, what competitive advantage do you have? Is yours fresh, homemade lemonade with a unique taste? Do you have a convenient location near a place where, people are going on walking trails? Are they, is it in a popular area where people are traveling? You have these, what's the word? The stores. You've got the little shops. Do you have it sitting along those shops where people are coming in and out of stores to see the lemonade stand? Are you down where all the food trucks are? Are you where are you at? In this instance, we're talking about the neighborhood.
Right.
But, in any other business, where are you positioning yourself so that you have a competitive advantage?
Even in a neighborhood, we have neighborhoods that have what do you call it? Where in the neighborhood they have like an office,
a community
center in the neighborhood.
Yeah, like a community center where you can host parties, that kind of thing, or
pool
a pool, where you have a pool, that kind of
perfect.
Thing. Yeah, it actually would. I think in our neighborhood there is an area where they do. You drive through our neighborhoods. We have a neighborhood that's kind of connected to several other neighborhoods, and in one of the neighborhoods they do have like food trucks that come in, and they advertise those.
Yeah.
And they kind of position it by the pool.
Yeah, so, they definitely do that in my neighborhood. They advertise the food truck on Facebook, maybe a week or so before they come. And then just kind of put the menu out there and give people an idea of what's coming. And then they'll sit out there by the pond and sell their food or ice cream or whatever their product is.
That's cool. I'm going to sell some lemonade.
Yeah.
Another competitive advantage that you may have is, whether or not you have a lower price point compared to other drinks or other competitors selling lemonade in this instance in your neighborhood.
Right.
All right. So then the next thing you want to look at is your product and service description. Freshly made lemonade. The product is freshly made lemonade, available in 2 sizes. You've got small and large. You've got an 8 ounce and a 12 ounce. Additional add-ons are going to be ice and flavored syrups like strawberry or lavender. And what your pricing strategy is. How much are you selling that lemonade for? Small cup, you're selling it for $1 maybe. Your large cup, you're selling it for $1.50.
And that's very strategic because you can always try to talk somebody into spending that extra 50 cents.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, if you think about it, you want lemonade, you want that nice fresh lemonade, but then down the street is like McDonald's. And McDonald's drinks are like $2 and 39 cents or something like that, whatever it is. And it's nasty. I'm just going to say it like that. I'm not a big soda drinker. And so like Sprite, all of those things that have that fizz and it hit the back of your throat, I don't like it. So my preference would be the lemonade. If I saw it, I would probably stop.
I like both of them. Just be my preference at that point because that McDonald's Coca-Cola, whoo-hoo.
You take that sip?
Oh, my God. Ooh. What I'm talking about?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
I used to be that way. I don't drink soda as much anymore. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. All right. So then the next thing that you want to do is you want to kind of determine what your location is going to be. Where are you going to set up? Where are you going to set up and position yourself and what your hours are going to be? What are the peak hours? Especially when you're talking about a lemonade stand, a food truck, anything like that. What are your peak hours and where will you be stationed? Because you want to catch people driving through. You know you're gonna have your walkers, but you want to catch people driving through. Right. And so between the hours of let's say between the hours of 2 and 5 on weekends and after school, you're gonna set that lemonade stand up near the entrance of the neighborhood. In hopes that you're going to generate traffic to that particular lemonade stand, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
So let's talk about the supplies and equipment.
Okay.
All right. So you know that in creating lemonade, you're gonna need lemons, you're gonna need sugar, You need sugar, water, ice, cups. That's the ingredients for the lemonade. The equipment that you need is, maybe a table or a jug. You're gonna need cups, straws, a cooler. You're gonna need signage. So you want to be able to account for all of these things in this feasibility study. Make sure that you document every single thing. What if you want to make it a to-go drink? They want to be able to take it and drive it home.
Right.
Or have a top on it. Do we have cups with tops? So you really have to.
Especially for your target market group. What was it, 5 to 12?
The littles.
The littles. How many times kids get in your car and waste?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's a good,
definitely a thought.
Something to have for your target group. Make sure you're getting everything that you need to target your group.
Yeah.
And what would make sales easier. Sometimes, like, say for instance, you didn't have any cups and they have a bunch of 5-year-olds. So, if we had cups, we can get them in the car, but we won't be able to do that. We're like, we got to-go lids. Like, oh my goodness, let me get 4 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's very true. And so then with that being said, in purchasing that equipment, now it's fairly easy to get the ingredients from your local store, but when you start thinking about like equipment that you need, those cups, those to-go cups, that kind of thing, then you have to think about your supplier,
right,
and where you're going to get that from, and how consistent they are in being able to turn that product over to you, constantly, especially in the summer months. You know what I'm saying? So even though your ingredients are going to be sourced from your local grocery store, can you get a supplier that's going to be able to give you the cups with the top?
That is so important. It's funny you say that because it seems like such a small thing, but when you're in the middle of business and you have a certain structure to that business, a change in that cup or anything like that can be complete travesty for that day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that is a very major thing to take into account.
And then what type of permits do you need, and what does it cost to get those permits? Is it an annual, something that you have to pay yearly?
Right, because you don't want Karen rolling up to your lemonade stand. You got a permit? You got a permit to sell that lemonade?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. For the lemonade stand example, we have, that no permits are required, but we do want to check with your local neighborhood HOA to make sure that there are, make sure that you know what all the rules and regulations are on whether or not you can sell that lemonade in your neighborhood. Now,
go ahead. But that would be the same thing for a larger scale business.
Absolutely.
You want to make sure you have all your permits and certifications,
correct,
licenses, and all that type of stuff.
And how often you have to renew those, because there is a cost associated with that.
Some stuff is every year. Some stuff is every 2 to 5 years. So that's definitely important.
Yeah, because you have, and even if it's, in order to keep the license, you have to have some type of continuing education or anything like that. You want to make sure that you know what the price is for those things. And so that's, if I haven't said that, that's what I want to make sure that I say. We want to account for the cost of these things.
Right.
And in order to accurately kind of put together this feasibility study. Right.
Absolutely. That's why I felt it was important just to point that out.
Yeah. So then the next step is to do the financial analysis. Now, at this point, this is where I got aggravated. Okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. I got aggravated because you'll find that you can go out and kind of look for this information and get it, but it may not be exact.
Right.
If you're starting, if you're doing this on the front end, it may not be accurate, when you're really ready to launch your business, so to speak, and a year or so from now, the prices may change.
Right.
And so this is kind of where I'm not a numbers girl. I don't, I like to count my dollars, but I don't like to get into all of the details of this. I'm a creative. I don't really like to do that. So with that being said, pay attention because this is really, really super important. Okay. So you want to talk about your initial investment costs. For this example, the table and signage cost about $20. Mm-hmm. Our jug and cups is about $15. Our first batch of supplies for the lemonade, lemon, sugar, water, ice, was $10, right? Mm-hmm. So our total initial cost for this example is $45, right?
Right.
All right. So our operational costs per day is going to be, for the supplies for the cups, for 30 cups, is $10. Okay? And I'm breaking this down like this, and I hope that everybody is following along. I'm breaking this down like this so that you can just kind of see exactly how we are looking at each cost. This is going to be different. I want to say this is going to be different if, for any business, but the lemonade stand was the easiest way for us to kind of break this down. Mm-hmm. All right. And so then you have revenue projection. And what we have here is your average sale price per cup is $1.25. Your estimated daily sales is 20 cups. So your daily revenue is 20 cups times $1.25, which is $25. Okay? Mm-hmm. Your daily revenue is $25 minus your daily cost, which was $10, mm-hmm. which equals $15 per day. You follow?
I'm following you. You're coming up with your profit estimation. So you got your daily revenue, which is $25. Mm-hmm. Your daily cost was for your cups.
$10. Right.
Okay. When you take the daily revenue and minus the daily cost,
it leaves you with a profit
of $15.
Of $15.
Got you.
So $25 minus $10 equals $15 in profit for that day. Mm-hmm. Now, your initial investment, your break-even analysis, and this is just for the lemonade stand. This may not be for another business, but your break-even analysis, your initial investment was $45, right? Mm-hmm. Your daily profit is $15. And so in order to break even, you're going to divide 45 by 15, mm-hmm. which means you break even in 3 days.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
But check this out. This is for the lemonade stand, and mm-hmm. it seems super simple. Mm-hmm. It is not this simple.
Right.
And I want to make sure that everybody in TV land knows that, because it may take a little bit more time for you to recoup what you put out. Mm-hmm. And the lemonade stand sounds easy, but I just want to make sure that everybody just really, truly understands that. Not only that, the next thing that we want to do is do a SWOT analysis mm-hmm. in this step as well.
Right.
And so in this step, our SWOT analysis is our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our strengths. Mm-hmm. So in this SWOT analysis on the financial piece, or the feasibility study, mm-hmm. is that you have a low startup cost and minimal overhead, right? You are making fresh homemade product that appeals to kids and adults. It's conveniently located. It's a conveniently located stand near foot traffic areas. Mm-hmm. At the front of the neighborhood, you've got driving traffic as well.
Right.
Your weaknesses are sales highly dependent upon weather, and the limited operating hours, which is going to be your afternoons and weekends, because that's when your target market is kids.
Right.
And if if parents are at work in the daytime and they're at daycare or whatever, then after school, they get out of daycare or school or whatever the case may be, that 2 to 5 is when they're usually outside playing, that kind of thing, while their parents are fixing dinner or whatever. And then on the weekends, of course. Right? And so then your opportunities, expansion to popular locations during local events. That is a great opportunity to be able to expand your lemonade to a concert or some kind of amusement park or something that has, somewhere where, it's easily accessible. You see people walking, kids playing, that kind of thing. Also, another opportunity would be to introduce new flavors or seasonal variations to attract repeat customers. Some of your threats are going to be competing stands or stores that have either a similar product or a better product than you have. And then also rainy days or cooler weather, reducing foot traffic. All right?
Yeah.
I know that was kind of rough to get through. I am not a numbers girl, but I definitely think this is a very important piece.
Yep.
And my question to you is always going to be, in your business, did you ever do this?
Yes. So a feasibility study. We had to do this for like different products, right? So, for instance, selling seafood boils. There's a lot that goes into that. So you have to price every item, and then you have to see what the competition is selling it for and what you can feasibly sell it for. So I've definitely done this before. It's definitely not an easy thing to do. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's really not.
It's dry.
But it does pay off to do it, because what happens is you do this on the front end. You pricing your product correctly out the gate,
right? And
you're not having to make adjustments because you didn't factor in those different things that you should have factored in the beginning.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I get that. I didn't do this in bail bonds. I didn't even. With the lemonade stand idea, I think that was kind of the best way to do it. I would have still been working on this for bail bonds.
What do you mean?
I think that I still would. I would still just have to go through the process. I would still be working on it right now, and we wouldn't be able to complete this episode because there's so many different things that you have to think about.
I knew you was about to say that.
Yeah. We wouldn't be able to complete this episode. We still be working on that.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to think how that would actually work for that particular business.
I mean, just right off the top of my head, you think about licensing, getting your license and continuing education each year. You think about the systems that you would use in order to service the business. Is this a brick and mortar? Or are you doing this are you just doing it from home? Even if you're doing it from home, you have to pay for internet. You have to pay for, lights, everything, right. Just to run a business. So you want to make sure that you like tap into all of that. I think that if I went back and looked at some of, the old documents and paperwork that I have, I could definitely do it. But just right off the top of my head, not having anything, those are just some of the things that kind of come to mind. And I would just have to figure out, because you have to, you create documents, you know what I'm saying? You have your contracts. You have to print those things. Advertisement. You have to think about a lot of different stuff. And we really didn't talk about a lot of advertisement in this because, we talked about signage, because you're just kind of getting out there. But for a regular business, how are you advertising? Business cards, that kind of thing.
Right.
You really have to take all of those things into account into this feasibility study and write everything that you could possibly think of in this put it into this document and then kind of price it out.
Yeah. Put everything that you can possibly think of into this study. And this is more research. Like you said, we've been doing a lot of research up until this point, but every step of the way, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
And once you do this, you are putting yourself at an advantage of other businesses, even your competition, because this is not something that everybody does.
Yeah.
And once you do that, you have such an advantage at pricing your product at the right price, coming out the gate, covering all the costs of everything. And then, you can always adjust your prices and things like that as the business grows and you hire people and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Because this is the reason why you need to know how to do this is because in your business, it's going to change.
Yeah.
The cost of goods, cost of everything, you're going to hire people, you're going to scale, you're going to get bigger. Just even if you did just a lemonade stand, maybe you want to get 2 lemonade stands next year. You know what I mean? So you have to account for all of that stuff.
And it helps determine whether or not you need, you're going to need funding for the business.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. And I also didn't, some of the things you also want to think of are, just are there any legal or cultural barriers that may cause your business to fail?
So I guess that would kind of bring us into like business struggles when you talk about cause you to fail in cultural. What do you can you speak to that a little bit more?
If you only had your market is limited.
Mm-hmm.
Your market is limited. You may or may not be able to do certain things based on any cultural barriers that you have or legal barriers that you have.
Okay. I think I get that.
Yeah. Well, with that, you take all of that information and you kind of draw a conclusion on your feasibility study.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I personally think that it's something that you probably want to update often. I don't want to put a time frame on it. I think that you, at some point, I would say once a year, I'd probably go back and look at it and see
at least, right?
Yeah. And see if you're in the same space. If there's a lot of changes in the market, then you probably want to look at it every 6 months.
Right, yeah.
I think would be good.
That would make sense, yeah.
And it all depends on your industry. It depends on what industry you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, do we have anything else on the actual step of feasibility, the feasibility study?
I don't think I have too much more to add to it. Just know that it's a very important step that you don't want to skip. If you do need help, we would like to offer help with you on that.
Okay. All right. Well, we will move to business struggles. Let's talk a little bit about the any business struggles that you talked a little bit about the seafood boil.
Mm-hmm.
How did that pan out in terms of did you all have any struggles with that? In other words, did you start out with the boil being at a specific price and then had to make the price adjustments based on doing the feasibility study, or did you do that first?
So just from having the experience with other products and having to do that, I bring up the seafood example because I didn't do that on other products.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So that was like the first time I actually had to sit down and cognitively go through this process, because a lot of times when you come into a market, you want to have a certain price point.
Right.
Because a lot of times for competitive reasons, you want to be priced at a point to where you're either beating the competition or you're meeting the competition, in my opinion.
Okay.
So when it comes to the feasibility study on the seafood, we had a certain price that we wanted to sell it at.
Right.
And this was a good part of doing the feasibility study, which we decided not to do the seafood boils because it just wasn't feasible to pay the cooks, buy the food at the from the suppliers that we were looking at. It just wasn't feasible to sell it at that price point at that time.
Right.
So had we not did that, we would have put ourselves in a deficit because we would have been selling at a unreasonable price point, trying to beat the competition.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100% makes sense. What struggles do you think impact financial backing when you're talking about a feasibility study? Like, do you think it would be fairly hard to get financial backing if you don't have something like this to present? And what's the best way to what would be the best way to present it? Like, we talk through like going through everything on paper, but do you do a presentation? Should you have some type of portfolio that this is in order to lay that out to someone who is looking to get like financial backing? Or do you know? What are your thoughts?
I would say absolutely, because it would only help to make sense and make your case. You know, if you have this much information and you're taking it to a lender, investor, it's only going to help make dollars make sense to the person that's going to give you the money. Without that, I don't see you being able to go too much further outside of being just able to persuade someone to just give you something.
Okay. All right. Well, and in the event, I think that in the event that you can't get the funding, there's all sorts of ways that you can get, alternative funding. Like, depending on the type of business that you have, there are grants, there are crowdfundings that you can do, and, any type of programs designed for entrepreneurs for sure.
Absolutely.
So, but I think that this is good information. Like I said, for me, it was pretty dry. Dry.
Really?
But yeah, I understand the purpose, but I did not have fun.
Yeah.
I did not have fun. And I have to say that because it just kind of speaks to my personality and who I am.
Right.
I am more of the creative person that likes to make sure that it looks good. But you, on the other hand, in this, I can tell that you kind of hone in on the numbers and the details.
Right. A little more critical thinking on my end for that.
Damn, I'm not a critical thinker.
I did not say that at all, Courtney. I did not say that at all. I'm just saying for me, I tend to just put my thoughts into things like that, and I can sit down and kind of home in on that stuff because I'm just like, I want it to be right, and that's just how my brain works. I'm actually trying to think of every possible thing I can put into this study so it can be as accurate as possible, and that just kind of drives me. It doesn't really bother me at all, you know what I mean? So,
but that's why I think that having different people with just different personalities at the table is always really good because, again, like there are things that you know better than I do, or you work with better than I do, and vice versa.
Right.
And so that's why it's always good to always have somebody else to just kind of look over things with you. So we'd be great business partners. Teamwork makes the dream work. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, do you have anything else for business struggles would you like to point out?
No, I do not.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else on that. I struggled in that struggle. The last thing is actionable advice. The actionable advice that I have for TV Land is to make sure that you get an accounting of all of the supplies that it takes for your business. You want to look at what the fixed costs are. I know that we use the example of the lemonade stand, but if you have a business, rent, utilities, any administrative cost, any type of cost for any goods, how much does it cost to make a product? You want to know all of those things. You want to make sure that you do the math.
Yeah.
And so once you do that and you put all of that together, I also say, do another SWOT analysis and see where you land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's good information to have. I think that it is very beneficial. And even though it may be time consuming, it may be something that you just cannot focus in on, it is great information to have for your business, to make sure that you are working towards building a sustainable business.
I would dare to say one of the most intricate parts of the business, because essentially it's what's going to make the business stay in business and afford the lifestyle that you're eventually trying to create with that business.
Right. All right. You have anything else?
Nope. I think that was a good episode.
All right, I think so too. On to the next one. We're moving right along with these steps. If you have any questions or you have any additional information that you'd like to find, please go to turtlesmith.com for more information, and we will see you next time.